On the morning of December 28, 2024, in the city of Brandon, Mississippi, cars belonging to relatives pulled up at the Sheffield family's private residence. Concerned family members had been trying to reach the couple, but neither Jennifer's nor Brandon's phones were picking up. Their vehicles sat parked in the driveway close to the garage, suggesting the pair were probably inside. Still, repeated knocks on the front door went unanswered. Worry mounted with the ongoing silence, so loved ones called emergency services to request a welfare check on the occupants. Officers from the Brandon Police Department responded promptly. They inspected the exterior of the property. The windows showed no damage. The doors remained locked, and there were no obvious indications of break-in or forced entry. With no explanation for how the couple might have departed and no reply from within, the police decided to gain entry to the house. Once inside, the patrol officers encountered only quiet. As they proceeded room by room, they came upon the bodies of 30-year-old Jennifer and 40-year-old Brandon. Both were declared deceased at the scene. A preliminary review of the area indicated unmistakable evidence of violence. To grasp what transpired in Rankin County, it is useful to step back to the period before yellow tape encircled the home. Brandon, the city where the couple lived, is considered among the finest places to reside in Mississippi. It serves as a peaceful suburb of Jackson, home to about 25,000 people, where incidents of this severity are extraordinarily rare. In this setting of tranquility and ease, 30-year-old Jennifer Sheffield had constructed her existence and her profession. Born September 9, 1994, Jennifer committed herself to science and healthcare. Her career trajectory stood out through impressive scholarly success. She obtained a Bachelor of Science degree in biochemistry and went on to earn a Master of Medical Science focused on biology. Acquaintances portrayed her as remarkably sharp-minded. Jennifer pressed onward beyond those milestones, aiming to advance her studies toward becoming a doctor. In her routine, she put her expertise to use as an emergency room nurse at Mississippi Medical Center. ER nursing demands exceptional resilience under pressure and swift judgment. Colleagues at the hospital noted they eagerly anticipated shifts alongside Jennifer, frequently highlighting her dedication and competence. The dean at Mississippi College, where she completed her postgraduate work, called her an outstandingly capable student who chased knowledge with genuine passion. Beyond the hospital walls, Jennifer's existence seemed rich and purposeful. She maintained an active presence on social media, especially TikTok, sharing her passions with an audience. Her clips featured her tending gardens and preparing various dishes, offering peeks into a cozy, welcoming domestic world. Those near to her spoke of her as a radiant spirit, profoundly committed to aiding others. Spirituality held great importance in her world. Close contacts mentioned her deep affection for God. No one observing this talented, learned woman rescuing lives in the emergency department could have foreseen she would shortly become the one requiring rescue. Sharing the Brandon residence with Jennifer was her husband, 40-year-old Brandon Sheffield. Born September 22, 1984, in Mobile, Alabama, Brandon projected the image of a steady suburban existence. From an outsider's view, he came across as an even-keeled individual with classic pursuits. In leisure moments, he took pleasure in tinkering with automobiles, angling, and disc golf. Individuals familiar with him described his character in highly favorable terms. He possessed the ability to brighten any space, perpetually aiming to bring smiles and forge joyful recollections. Yet amid his pastimes, Brandon's greatest priority remained his daughters. From an earlier relationship, he had two girls, Gracie and Kylie. Family members recounted him as a committed father who treasured his children immensely. Time spent with them constituted his deepest source of joy. This view of him as a loving family patriarch was echoed by Jennifer's companions. Faye, among Jennifer's dearest friends, had known the pair from the outset of their bond. Across the years, she observed their relationship evolve and invariably expressed favorable views of Brandon. She called him an excellent individual and admired the manner in which he regarded Jennifer. Per Faye, no red flags ever surfaced, no hints of hostility, no reason for alarm. In their immediate network, Brandon earned a reputation as the light-hearted companion, encouraging and gentle. The Sheffield family tale originated almost a decade prior to its tragic close. This was far from an ordinary campus courtship. When Jennifer and Brandon first encountered each other in the mid-2000s, she remained a youthful woman centered on her studies. Brandon, by contrast, had already entered full adulthood with a settled life, marked by a 10-year age gap. More significantly, Brandon arrived with a daughter, Gracie, from a prior union. Right from the start, Jennifer recognized the commitment she was embracing. She accepted Brandon's role as a father with genuine duties and stepped into it willingly. Jennifer embraced the situation fully. She built a meaningful tie with Gracie, and gradually the two formed a solid, reliable connection. Soon after, Jennifer and Brandon welcomed their own daughter, Kylie. From her 20s into her 30s, Jennifer poured herself completely into her household. She matured into her duties as spouse and parent while simultaneously advancing in a rigorous medical career. Neighbors and friends perceived them as a strong, cohesive family, nurturing their girls in a household brimming with affection and security. Nevertheless, the initial evident crack in that seemingly flawless facade surfaced not via gossip or law enforcement but straight from Jennifer herself. Amid her regular TikTok posts on gardening and recipes, one video diverged sharply. The cheerful vibe vanished. In its stead came a quiet, earnest request. Jennifer turned to her viewers, not for another household suggestion, but seeking encouragement. She faced a deep emotional challenge. In the clip, she posed a straightforward, intimate query to her audience: "What steps do you take when it seems God remains quiet?" She described her usual sense of divine direction, yet lately she encountered only stillness. In her reflection, she discussed a life direction that once felt destined but now presented mounting obstacles, each heavier than the last. On screen, Jennifer frankly admitted a fresh insight: her personal schemes no longer held sway. In pursuit of purpose, she invoked a well-known adage: the instructor stays silent throughout the examination. That instance captured a stark truth. A woman seen by others as a thriving expert and contented parent now sought wisdom from online strangers. Jennifer inquired about handling a once familiar route that ended abruptly. She pondered whether a total shift in course might be necessary. The recording lingered online as subtle testimony that, well before the final events, she had begun seeking transformation in her path. By fall 2024, the Sheffield's private world reached a point where concealment proved impossible. The pair resolved to end their marriage. Though they stayed under one roof, their public identities shifted noticeably. Jennifer and Brandon updated their Facebook profiles almost simultaneously. In the relationship field, each now read single. This platform does not alter such details on its own. One change does not trigger the others unless deliberately done. Each had to log in, navigate settings, and manually affirm the split. It served as an open declaration that the partnership had concluded. For friends and observers, it marked a definitive line drawn. In modern times, modifying relationship status online frequently signals an official notice. Both chose this step intentionally, outlining boundaries for a fresh chapter even as they shared living space. Outwardly, routines seemed unaltered, but the online trail confirmed the finality. This stemmed not from impulse but from deliberate preparation by two mature individuals readying for independent lives. The divorce stemmed not from explosive scandal, betrayal, or abrupt clash. It arose from a gradual erosion spanning years. Confidants of Jennifer noticed a recurring theme: exhaustion. Early in their union, the decade-age difference conveyed reliability, making Brandon appear solid. A decade on, roles inverted. Jennifer, armed with advanced degrees and thriving in high-acuity care, emerged as the household's momentum. She pursued studies relentlessly, advanced goals, and eyed medical school. Brandon, per those in the know, stayed consistent, warm, enjoyable, approachable, but stagnant. Friction grew from differing drive and evolution. Jennifer had surpassed the marriage's scope. Comfortable at 20 as a nurturing spouse beside a playful partner, by 30 it felt confining. She shouldered emotional loads, child-rearing, and fatigue while Brandon clung to familiarity. In confidential talks, Jennifer confessed feeling isolated despite marriage. She desired a mate evolving in tandem, not one needing perpetual support. For her, divorce meant release, not ruin, shedding burden to finally draw breath. She sought no battle, merely progress in a path Brandon could not or would not join. That precise sentiment, the notion of a wife growing overly autonomous, accomplished, and self-sufficient, frequently provokes men matching Brandon's disposition. His polished exterior crumbled not from another romantic interest but from her self-discovery. On December 10, nearly 18 days before authorities cordoned the Brandon residence, Jennifer posted an in-depth video on TikTok. The clip aimed to clarify family matters and quell rumors. On camera, she projected poise and steadiness, her demeanor defying typical breakup stereotypes. She characterized Brandon's conduct amid the dissolution with one term: incredible. Per Jennifer, they preserved full courtesy for their daughter's benefit. She emphasized teamwork in navigating this phase with minimal harm. She detailed their agreement precisely: assets split evenly, 50-50ths. No conflicts, no legal battles, no disputes over possessions. She expressed confidence in Brandon's ongoing financial aid for his girls, easing some future load she anticipated carrying. The heart of her statement looked forward, not backward. Jennifer informed viewers she prepared to parent solo and, for the first time, sustain herself financially. She spoke openly of upcoming hurdles: securing a new residence, managing a mortgage, prudent spending. She solicited budget advice and listed steps already taken: foregoing cafe coffee, opting for caffeine tablets, self-managing hair and nails. The recording painted a portrait of a woman purposefully building independence. She covered practical elements like rates and savings tactics, showing thorough readiness. Plans encompassed moving and creating her own space, indicating enduring commitment. The video captured Jennifer Sheffield convinced the toughest divorce phase had passed, with a demanding yet secure road to autonomy ahead. The December 10 recording endures online. In it, Jennifer seems serene, outlining ambitions and labeling her spouse incredible. Yet professionals versed in domestic violence detect another layer beneath such remarks. Precisely 18 days separate that upload from police securing the Brandon home. Experts label this interval the peak danger zone. Jennifer's praise for an amicable split contrasts sharply with the outcome. Studies indicate public affirmations of a partner during dissolution often serve as protective strategy. Psychological insights frame it as softening potential friction to preserve family facade and, crucially, avert provoking hostility from a cohabiting man. Despite Facebook shifts to single, Jennifer and Brandon remained housemates. The exit preparation stage ranks as the most perilous in partnerships. Data from justice systems show women's fatality risk surges when departure becomes permanent and evident. Brandon's perceived authority eroded. Daily patterns, social persona, domestic steadiness unraveled. Jennifer's clear moves, home purchase planning, solo budgeting, signaled irreversibility. Within those Mississippi walls, unspoken tension built. Exact exchanges in those 2.5 weeks remain unknown, no interior surveillance, but evidence narrates events. The harmonious split Jennifer presented to followers existed digitally alone. Privately, strain mounted. Brandon observed increasing detachment, self-reliance, progress in paperwork. Public and online portrayals diverged from interior reality. Viewers lauded maturity. The calm separation tale gained acceptance. Yet inside, it never materialized. Brandon's former family oversight vanished. 18 days of quiet concluded not with Jennifer's new beginning but unanswered family calls. To comprehend the discovery on December 28, investigators revisited chronology, aligning events with autopsy results. Suburban serenity masked a decisive confrontation. Detectives entering post-breach eliminated theft or outsider attack. Entry points secured. No window breaches. Forensics classified a contained scene offense. Sole occupants, the two. Per coroner documentation and ballistics, sequence matched murder-suicide. Brandon Sheffield emerged sole perpetrator. Jennifer lacked viable defense or flight. Analysis placed her fatal encounter indoors. Gunfire pattern clear. Weapon belonged to Brandon. First rounds targeted Jennifer. Wounds deemed unsurvivable. Post-act, Brandon inflicted self-harm. His remains lay near hers. Casings and residue placement excluded others. Investigators linked violence surge to control erosion, echoed in dissolution records.
Jennifer's legal steps: asset division, custody met abrupt halt via Brandon's deeds.
The curated amicable divorce image shattered in one evening. Brandon, losing grip incrementally per signed papers, asserted total authority through violence, the sole remaining avenue. Post-investigation closure, attention shifted from technicals to ethical debates.
After medical examiner protocols concluded, remains returned to families for interment. Relatives opted against separate ceremonies. A unified memorial for both occurred same day, same location.
A local funeral home hosted, with tribute setups in shared area. This combined remembrance for victim and perpetrator gained notice via images and accounts.
Attendees entered to two distinct memorial setups. Contrast struck immediately, later shared widely online.
Brandon's arrangement appeared expansive, laden with portraits, angling shots, friend photos, sports memorabilia, evoking vibrant, sociable life. Nearby, Jennifer's featured an urn and sparse images. Relative to her husband's elaborate display, hers seemed restrained and understated. Visually, Brandon dominated focus, Jennifer appeared secondary. As photos circulated, public response surged. Social platforms and forums flooded with thousands of reactions to the joint service. Core outrage targeted moral disparity. Critics decried honoring victim and killer proximately and simultaneously. Further backlash zeroed on setups: Jennifer's minimalism versus Brandon's abundance, seen as victim disrespect. Observers charged organizers with mourning a charismatic father while sidelining his lethal actions. Online voices accused kin of whitewashing Brandon's legacy, erasing domestic violence context in a remembrance setting. To reconstruct December 28, 2024, mechanics precisely, set aside sentiment for verifiable facts, sequences, times, forensics. Public perception of abrupt couple disappearance masked a swift mourning chain for experts.
December 28 dawned ordinary post-Christmas Saturday in Brandon, Mississippi.
Sunlight bathed a serene neighborhood, highlighting a home outwardly embodying reliable family life.
Holiday-adorned windows concealed a day meant to advance Jennifer's independent trajectory. Indoors, normalcy prevailed.
Jennifer, accustomed to dawn shifts in critical care, likely rose early. She navigated kitchen, living spaces, feeling secure. After all, she and Brandon maintained agreement, they functioned as partners. She clung to self-constructed vision, flawless parting with sustained regard.
Brandon occupied the house too. For him, mourning bore opposite weight.
As Jennifer eyed life apart, he witnessed personal dissolution. Social single status, relocation talks, assured demeanor, what signified collaboration to her signaled unbearable loss of dominion to him.
In that hushed dawn, sociable facade crumbled, revealing profound anguish and rage. Events accelerated.
No prolonged cries echoed outdoors, no dish chaos.
Surge spanned minutes, possibly seconds.
Amid dialogue or routine movement, Brandon elected finality.
He retrieved a firearm. Jennifer, engaged in ordinary tasks, anticipated nothing.
The decade-shared partner she trusted fired. Profound quiet enveloped the residence. Jennifer's home-buying aspirations, physician dreams, devotion to Gracie and Kylie ceased instantly. Moments later, Brandon's self-inflicted, sealing irreversibility. Near midday, neighborhood stillness broke with arriving engines. Relatives appeared, perhaps pre-planned to collect Gracie and Kylie or address family matters. Cars lined driveway by garage.
Smiling occupants emerged, expecting routine warmth.
They neared front door.
Knock. No reply. Louder knock. Still nothing.
Jennifer's and Brandon's vehicles visible, clear sign of presence.
Phones dialed from porch. Rings reverberated through empty rooms. Repeated calls, unanswered. Concern escalated to dread.
One peered through windows for signs of life.
Another tested handle locked tight, guarding horror within. Time passed, silence defied logic. Trembling fingers contacted authorities. The Brandon, Mississippi, official probe has closed. Case sealed with sole suspect's demise.
Legally, narrative concluded at coroner's timestamp. Yet for Gracie and Kylie, Brandon's daughters, the morning's impact endures permanently. The girls, whom Jennifer embraced as her own, now parentless, reside with kin. Publicly, one trace lingers digitally, the December 10th video. The segment where Jennifer beams, details home buying intentions, and terms her eventual killer incredible remains intact. Once lifestyle content, it now stands as captured miscalculation. The tragedy underscores social media's deceptive veneer. Countless watched a parent-ideal divorce unfold live, blind to trajectory toward lethal end. Facebook's single status update, seen as casual, ignited Brandon's catalyst. If this account captured your interest, remember to like the video and subscribe the Hidden Cases files. We deliver crime stories nightly. Until next, remain alert, remain watchful.